Welcome, everyone. I have 5:30, and I call this meeting of the Heavenly Collegiate ISD Board of Trustees to order. This meeting is being conducted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act and is open to the public. The proceedings are being recorded, and official minutes will be taken to document today's actions. Let the record show that we have a quorum present with the following members in attendance: Kevin Griffin, Carrie Moore, Jennifer Prater, Derek Moore, Sherman Bates, and I think Dr. Chad Watt will be here in just a second. If during the course of this meeting, discussion of any item on the agenda is required to be held in closed session, the board will meet in executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapters D and E. Before we move on to the agenda item, we will open the floor for public comments. Anyone wishing to address the board must have signed in at the registration desks. Sherman, you might open us up with a word of prayer?
Yes, sir. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for everyone that's gathered here. We thank you for your mercy and your grace. And we pray that, Lord, as we conduct these meetings, Lord, let us do it in a way that is pleasing to you. And we'll be careful to give you all the honor and praise. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sherman. Please, anybody sign up to address the board? Okay, we will move on to the recognitions.
All right, Coach Curtis, you're up.
Great. I wanted to take a minute to thank you all for allowing us to have an outstanding spring athletic speaking. There's no doubt that our coaches and kids put in tons of work and represented Hamlin at the highest level. And that's awesome. I don't know how long it's been since we've had multiple programs get to the regional level and above. I know both boys and girls cross country made it. I know that the boys basketball team made it to the regionals. Rather basketball, and then you got baseball, track, both in the state tournament this year. It's just an awesome accomplishment. Hats off to the coaches and the kids that put in the time. We are here to present and recognize our track and baseball, both being at the state meet or in the state tournament. I'll let Coach Garcia talk a little bit about track, and we've also got special medals for you guys for our third place boys team finish. We're going to hand him out as Coach Garcia.
Okay, so it was an amazing, incredible season with our kids. I know Dee can't be here. We've got a few of the track kids that can't be here, but this is probably the most incredible year of my coaching career. And I've been here been coach for 21 years. So y'all, what y'all did was amazing. Not a lot of kids get to even make it to the state level one time in their whole high school career. Some of you guys made it twice on touch. And all you baseball boys, you made it in baseball and track 2 years in a row. It's hard to do. Coach will tell you in his career, in his long career, it's hard to do. But it's pretty neat to end up on the podium. We knew we had an opportunity coming into this year after last year placing 7th, not running our best time. But to come back, 2 new kids on the relays, a sophomore coming up like Jaden, Colin going as a alternate. He could have easily been on the relay last year. They kept focused. They knew what they wanted, and they took care of business. And they represented him with pride and integrity. We placed 2nd at the state meet by point something to Strong. We had beat them the week before, or 2 weeks before at the regional meet, which was a high for everybody to be regional champs, beat Strong. Top of the state and all they do. And then we get to the state meet, they beat us barely. It was tough on them. They were disappointed, and it's like, why am I disappointed? We just got 2nd place at the state meet. But that just goes to show that they want more than just, 2nd, 3rd, whatever. They want to go there and win it. And that says a lot about you guys. So I'm really proud of you, our sprint relay, for doing that. And then 4x2 was the same kids plus Jaden, who could have easily been on that sprint relay too. He's going to be a leader next year for us. I expect you, Jaden, to be on a relay, just letting you know, on that 4x1 and 4x2 and 4x4. So be ready for that.
He's shaking his head. He's shaking his head.
They bought in. I told them at the end of last year, I told Coach Botus, I need to make a change. I talked to Myers, as coaches, you grow every year. I said, what can we do? And she was like, Coach, you gotta get running the quarters. I was like, I know, but it's so hard at the small school level. You don't have a lot of kids. They hate it. I feel like you can lose them quick. She said, you got to. So I told them, y'all are gonna run the 400. Did I not tell y'all that last year? And they were like, no, no, no. They didn't. And that's the only way that you guys are gonna get mentally tough and stronger for those shorter races. So 4x2 got third in medal. Coleman Lakey finished us strong. I think we got the baton, we're fourth or fifth, brought us to third to get third there. Almost broke a school record of that 4x2 by a point. I mean, it was point something. The 4x2 school record that's been there for a long time was 130 I'm just guessing 130.5. We ran like a 130.8. So it's just like, we wanted it. We didn't want to focus too much on it. We thought we'd get it to state meet, but it was a hot day, long day. Different humidity. And then who else here? Colin stepped up from being an alternate last year and going in the 110 hurdles, narrowly missing third place, which was huge. He got fourth by point something. He had PR'd every meet leading up to state meet. Worked really hard. We got to keep you coming this summer. Every day you got to come. And Hutch came back with 2 medals. Jaden came back with a medal, and the rest aren't here today, but I'm honored. Dariana came up big, throwing at regional meet on her third throw, making it to state, and then at state, getting a medal because of her third throw. So that's big time throwing. So that the pressure on there is huge if you don't understand that. You got 6 throws, but she was in that ring last throw. It's like, it's do or die. You're either on the medal standard or not, and she did it. So I'm proud of her. But they also got recognized at the what's it called? Abilene Hall of Fame, which I didn't even know they did that. I've known Al Pickett for a long time. The boys didn't know that. I was like, hey, Colin, he knows me. No, he doesn't. And I was like, yeah, I have, because he reported on me all the time. And he didn't believe me. Well, then we go up there and he mentioned my name. I said, thank you. He said, you have to glaze about yourself. I said, no, I'm just proud of the efforts and the work that you do. And I said, and you need to be proud and glaze about yourself. There's a difference between being, overconfident ego. Be proud of yourselves. You're going to be talking about this forever. And if not, I'm going to be talking about it forever, and I'm going to repost some pics. So that's what we do. We're proud of our kids. So it was an honor to coach for you guys. It's an honor to represent Hamlin, work for Coach Botus, and I was just honored to lead both programs with the coaches. I mean, it was incredible. We could have done it without our coaches, y'all. 17 events, 6 coaches. It takes a team effort. So it's not just one coach; it's all of us. Also, that's cool. And I said, that's all guys. Yes. Got that?
So how many are you using? How many graduated?
We got Hutch, we got, on the boys side, I don't know, on the girls side, 7 boys, a few girls now. We got some work. We are going 2A though.
Can we call them?
Yeah, let's call them up.
The 1-2 branch, and yeah.
Call Ryan. Colin Ryan, he placed 4th in the 110 hurdles, and he was the anchor for 4x1. Hutch was our second leg for the 4x1.
Y'all are gonna get a picture with the parts.
Second leg 4x2. Who else? Is that everybody? Third in the 4x2.
Yeah.
Oh, we get a picture?
Yeah, oh, cool.
Coach, thank you for what you do.
It was an awesome job.
So fun. There's gonna be a change to it, but we're not right now. Scared to it.
That's right.
I think we're not. I'm sure.
Jennifer, you're up front.
I can't get the upper. I'm like in the middle.
Lay down behind you so they can't see my booty. Stop it.
Find a window, turn it, find a window.
I'll give you all.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
Baseball wise, we've had 2 tremendous back-to-back years, and some of you were sitting on the board or you were sitting in the stands back in 2021, and Coach Turner came in and we told him that, you know, I wasn't the guy, but I was the one that reached out to Coach Turner and said, hey, we got a job here. And they came. And that first 2 years, it was pretty rough baseball. I mean, it was pretty rough baseball. We had a bunch of kids that had never played or have not played since Little League. He was doing a lot of just keeping the bus on the road. And it paid off. He had a big young group coming up, we knew, with Hutch's group, and then a couple of the seniors graduated last year that there were some baseball players in there, and he stayed the course, and he turned in a doormat that we were for a couple of years into one of the best in the big country and one of the best in the state at our level. And that's true testament to his determination and the love for the game, and always putting in great fuel to our kids, be it words, be it drill work, whatever it might be. He's an amazing coach. We all know that he's retiring this year, but I'm gonna let him get up and talk about his kiddos in the baseball game for a second. Come on, Coach Turner.
These last 2 years have been pretty incredible, and these guys have been unreal since they stepped in the program. 'Cause that first year, kind of went home and told Becky, I said, it'll be rough. I mean, and I know Chance was a freshman that year, and I was trying to move him around, find a place, and finally found first base was his place. But I had 3 kids, and I used to joke with them, you guys would be managers and never started. So, but you know, they had a lot of fun, and they really did. They got better, and they had fun doing it, so that was kind of worth it. And then the next year, I had this group come up, that's freshmen, and a lot of them started that year, probably almost all of them. And we just started getting better every year. And they, you know, and I know that Kenan and Scott, and there were some other dads that took these guys when they were little. I just kind of had to fine tune them a little bit. But that's why it's important that they play when they're young, especially this sport. And because those kids found out they got to play that year, they didn't get to play a lot until that year. And they found out that we probably should have played more. But so we had a good group coming up, and I remember that camp I had with them that first year, and they were throwing the ball around us. We didn't throw it like this year, so they were already doing things, and I was pretty fired up about it, and they bought into everything we wanted to do, and then to end like we did, it was always a bucket list, and I come here 31 years, I don't know what it was as a head coach, and then my last 2 years, this is it, and we go both times, so that's a credit to them. And I just looked up directions, drove the bus, looked on the overview map, if we go eat here, I got a park right here so I can get out, and I just let them play. And on game days, I mean, they just got after it the last 2 years, and it was so much fun. I was told Coach House to sit in the dugout and just watch your team play, and just do the right things. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way we wanted, but you know, things happen for a reason. I believe that. But just to see where they came and see where we ended, it's just been a great ride. It really has. And I've thought about it the last couple of days, and it was hard the way we lost that first one. It was nobody's fault. We had chances to win the game, and there's always more than one play that loses the game. And we had several chances, and we just didn't get it done for whatever reason. But that night, I had Spoke tell me it was one of the best games I ever watched, and we were right there. And so tonight, I've got a few guys going. I know Ian and Luke are at FCA festivities this week. I think Ian plays Thursday, Luke plays Saturday. So that's good to have them in there, and that's why they're not here tonight. We've got a couple others not here. But I'm just truly proud of these guys. I mean, I don't know, just to see where we came and what they accomplished, and they deserve everything they got. And we got a couple of guys going to play college ball. I know Luke's going to Hardin Simmons to play football. Derek's going to Heston College to play, and Isaiah is going to Mid-America Christian. All right, yeah, okay. So we got some guys going to play at the next level. I don't think I've ever had that many out of one group. I've kind of been at small schools, so I've never had that many out of one group go. Had a couple of dancing, and one stuck it out to his junior year, but that's as far as they got. So, but I was extremely honored to coach these guys, and just what they accomplished, it was all in. So thank Coach House for what he did this year, and I had Coach Bodas last year, and I was telling him last year, there's a lot of times I didn't have a true assistant. And it makes it hard when you gotta try to do it by yourself. And I'm not very good at giving it up, but I had to. And I know he's done as long as I have baseball, I let him do the hitting, I helped. And I took care of, other stuff, but it's so nice to be able to have help. And there's probably 28 of my years I had guys that really didn't want to be there. And that makes it hard when they don't want to be there. So it was nice here because even, I had Coach Luna, he tried, he did a good job. So I was fortunate here. I got guys that wanted to do it, but I thank them also. So that's about all I got. But I'm just really proud of the run they made. To go twice, I didn't know if I'd ever go once.
Yeah.
And then 2 years in a row we go. And I was sitting here right here last year and said, we got 2 guys, we got to fill their spots. And we had 3 guys battle there at the end of our lineup. And I'm telling you, they were a big reason why we got there. And I was proud of those guys. And we had 2 guys step in the middle of this year that had to plug some pretty big holes, and they did a great job. So, if there's anything else, any questions? Thank my wife for her support. Couldn't have done it without her. So,
But before you bring him up, if I can get, make him look on. Yeah. Come on. So, Becky, I wasn't going to read, but Casey told me I better take it. On behalf of the Hamlin Pied Piper Baseball Program, our players, coaches, families in our community, we'd like to express our deepest gratitude and appreciation for everything that you have done for Coach Turner, the game of baseball, and the thousands of young athletes and young men that you have impacted over the last 30 years. While Coach Turner has spent decades teaching the game, he's mentored young men and built successful baseball programs. Everyone who truly knows the story that no one ever hears is what goes on at home. The spouses. And none of this would have been possible without your unwavering love for him, support, the sacrifice, and the dedication that you have shown to Coach Turner. And your influence extends far beyond the baseball field. Through your encouragement and kindness and commitment to see these young people who have come through his programs, you have helped shape generations of student athletes. The lessons learned, relationships built, and the memories created over the years, all the puzzles, everything that you have done are a direct reflection of the support system he had. The season as the Hamlin Pipers made an incredible run back at the state tournament, I was reminded once again that all the great accomplishments are rarely achieved alone. I watched you go hug moms before every game. You had your own little superstitious routine, set in the sweat, just dripping wet. And out of 30 years, I don't, handful of games you've ever missed? I mean, 0? That's just remarkable. And so, as a small token of our appreciation, we are honored to present you with this UIL State Tournament medal. It represents not only this season's successes, but also for 3 decades of dedication, sacrifice, service to Texas high school baseball, young men across the state in multiple communities. Thank you.
I just gotta say that they're family and they mean so much. And Lynn wouldn't just talk baseball when he got home. He would talk about how he cared for them. And I cared for them and concerned about other things. And you're just family to us. And I loved everything I got to do. Probably some of my silly actions y'all just laughed at, but that's okay. So I thank y'all for allowing Lynn and I to come to Hamlin. I was really worried about it because we were in Anson for so long, and how can we be in Popper? But God sent us here, and it's been a blessing, and I just thank y'all for this opportunity. Boys, I pray that y'all will keep in touch with us. We'll be watching y'all in your life adventures, and you'll still be our family. So thank y'all.
Y'all get in there for a picture.
So nice.
I'm behind you.
All right, I can see your face. 1, 2, 3.
Before y'all leave, I'm just gonna say a few words. And then I'll just, instead of sitting, I was just gonna say, when it came time to give your medals on Saturday, Botus, it could have been him or I. It could not be me because I was crying. And I'm just so proud of all of you, getting to watch you for the past 2 years. But y'all have come a long way, you just don't even know it. Like, you don't quit. And that was one of the things that I've noticed in the past 2 years. And so just I'm so proud of all of you. The ones coming back, I'll get to still see you and see you do great things. And for those of you graduating, come back and let us know how you're doing. But thank you. It's been a great 2 years. So, all right.
Thank you all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. I'm not gonna go.
The girls are doing pretty
This is why I did not get my medals.
No, they not.
That was great.
All right. Move on to the.
And then the baseball medals, you all will get to, we ordered those, so once they're in, I will hand them.
Is there any difference? Does
Um,
it say anything?
I don't know, you know what, I have the track medal, oh, this is the big,
Is this the baseball or just track?
this is my
The-
baseball.
I think the
have
front
track.
end is a little different. I think the track has like the shoes and the wings, and the baseball has something different.
This is just UIL, it doesn't have any.
Just UIL.
Yeah.
I've seen them in both ways. I don't know how, I think each
Because
year.
I-
It's all.
I have
Yeah.
those already, so y'all will get another.
All right, let's move on to the consent agenda. All that's in there is the minute from the previous board meeting. I think if y'all have time to review that, any amendments or corrections for those minutes? If not, I will make that motion to approve those.
I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second. Motion made by Derek, seconded by Sherman. All in favor of that motion, signify by right hand. 6-0. Principals updates.
All right.
I got all that. Hey, so I just want to talk about the end of the year a little bit. We did a lot of activities and we moved most of them, all of them to the auditorium. Feedback on that is all positive that I heard from parents, so thank you guys for pouring into that building. you know, coming back here 10 years later, like I'm glad to see that building get used again. So that was really cool. Our talent show had some kinks we can work out, you know, as far as, there's some kinks we can work out. And, but the awards assembly and kindergarten graduation, I hope that, I hope I did a good enough job at the graduation, but Christy Barley just really worked on that. And that's just kind of how she approached the job in general. So it's really cool for her to get to go out in the auditorium and with that group of kids, because I think most of them had siblings that she also taught or parents that she taught. So that was pretty cool. As far as staffing, we are currently fully staffed except for a daycare assistant. We lost hires to the secondary campus, so I'm extremely excited for her. I think she's going to do a great job. But yeah, so if you know of anybody that wants to hug on babies all day, send them my way. But other than that, we're rocking and rolling. Master schedules are penciled in at the elementary. You don't write anything you need until August the 11th, October 1st, you know. But just trying to get all that ironed out, putting people in the right seats on the bus kind of situation, and you know, just ready to. Had 2 weeks now with no kids there, and we're ready to get kids back already, I think. So Billy and I have been really pleased that we haven't had a lot of people just knocking the doors down. So we've been able to just get a lot of our stuff that in my other experiences has taken most of June and some of July, half of August to get done. Billy and I really kind of knocked it out the last week or two. So excited to do that. You don't know how the secretaries, how much they do until you get to June. And then when you have a good one, June gets really easy. And so we have that. But that's all I've got. Y'all have any questions for me? Pretty short and sweet.
Great job this year.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, well, I think I'm built a little differently. I don't really cry at things I should, but when it comes to like school business, like it chokes me out. Tears, really hard right then, and then at the track meet, the baseball, kind of a sissy, I guess. And it's really good. I've been fortunate enough to be around a few teams that have competed at a high level of the state and won a couple state championships, and it was neat to see these guys compete in track, baseball. The kid at UI Academics, not many people get to see the kids there, and then the kids that went to Wisconsin did a good job. So it's neat to be in a place where kids compete, we encourage them to compete, so that's really cool. You know, I was very fortunate to start May 1st, so I got to meet a lot of the kids and got to meet all the staff, so that was a bonus for me going into the summer and getting prepared for next year. We do a lot of things well. We have great kids, our teachers, we have a really good staff. But I think there's some challenges that we have, so I'm looking forward to kind of tackling those things. After talking to the staff, I like to have like a teacher advisory committee and a student committee and different things to kind of help make the campus home and with the right rules and the right things in place. So far we have a teacher advisory committee, and the last day of school or the day after we met, and we already have a goal going into the next school year. So that's exciting. It's something that we're going to do something really cool with that the staff doesn't know about yet. But it'll be something like if we achieve it at the end of the year, that will be something really neat. And hopefully you guys will be a part of that. But I'm looking at getting started and really improving and carrying on the great traditions. And I'm trying to learn all those things. So if you guys have things that you want brought back or like, hey, this is how we do it, I know that's really important to being good. So let us know. And our goal is always going to be the best, the best 2A district in the region, and then work on our way up to there and 2A high school. So just working on those things. I think attendance and academics, there's a lot of things that we can do or tweak to get really good. And I think we have the staff and students to do it. So to me, that's kind of where we're at. There's a lot of master schedule stuff to do, but I'm excited to wear green and to be here and get to know the kids even better. The staff has been very welcoming. Dr. Block, Michelle, everybody's been really good. It's been fun. Lisa, she runs the show and keeps everything in order and in line. So I appreciate her. But if you guys have any questions about the high school and junior high, I'd like to try to answer. I don't know if I know many of the answers yet, but I know we will be really, really good in the near future. I'm excited to get started. So.
So now here.
Who's on your teacher advisory board?
Bodus is on there, Jory Van Cleve, Tammy Clausen, Mr. Cross, Kelly Buskey, and Hannah Ferris. Those are the ones. I kind of let them volunteer. I didn't, so it seemed like a good group that was well-rounded. It kind of represents different parts of it. And being a small school, I think that's important where we can, make sure we share kids and, I kind of have a rule of thumb that, every kid needs to be involved in 2 things. So we got to learn to share and make sure they're involved. It's never that's a goal that's hard to get every kid to be involved like that. But my kids had to be, so that's kind of how I did it. They didn't get involved, they had to work. So usually they did that. So. Any other questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, sir.
You bet.
All right, got a couple of action items. Action 8.1, consider renewal of the food service contract for the school year 2026, 2027. Any comments on that? Or just-
No, we remember we didn't go out for rebid last year. This is just a continuation. Now, next year, we're gonna have to go out for rebid again. And that would be where in the, we are in it, our contract is with Anson, Stanford, and Roscoe. So we'll see what's gonna happen. I'm not sure yet, but that will be for next year.
Any comments? If not, I'm ready for that motion.
I move to approve the food service management contract for 26-27 contract year as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Wise, second by Carrie. All in favor of that motion, signify by the right hand. 6-0. All right, we have one property, delinquent property held in trust.
I have to laugh that they're so outdated. They have Dr. Burks as superintendent.
Yeah, I was there.
I was like, they don't do their research.
I believe this is edge of town. Anybody else look that up? I think I looked it up. I think that's what it's.
It is, it's out in
Yeah.
University, it's going out to Anson. It's got a barn or something on it, and it's way overgrown.
Right down the corner, right?
Yeah, it's on the corner of the 2 dirt roads. County Road 98 or something.
Yeah, it's addressed
Is
as
that what it is?
98.
Okay.
Any other discussion there, or are we ready to approve that? $959.07.
Yeah.
On the sheet.
On the back bid sheet.
Written,
I-
handwritten.
It's not really stuff we own, it's just because they haven't paid, it's delinquent taxes, that's why we get it.
Oh, I know, I'm just wondering what,
Oh, I don't know.
what I can't even see this person's name. What's-
They live in Abilene.
Behind Cisco, Cisco College building out there. There's a housing development out there that they would. You're all amazing.
So it's
Just
all
curious.
one out there.
Yeah, R11850.
I move the board approves the bid for parcel number R1185 as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion made by Jennifer, seconded by Derek. All in favor of that motion, signify by the right hand.
fix it. All right, moving on to the superintendent's report.
We have no new resignations or hires from what I've sent. Julia Cox was the last one that I sent you all last week. We are waiting on Stacy Guy. We're supposed to find out tomorrow if she's gonna accept the job or not for math. And then, we're waiting about Coach Turner. We don't have any applications. You know, the recommendation is going to be that Coach House is the head baseball coach. And so we may have enough coaches that we have without teaching fields to put in that, history position that Coach Turner taught. So, it's kind of where we're at, just because we've hired internally for positions without, it's kind of left us some open, things. We've been working as a leadership team on master schedule with the high school. Shay, Michelle. We've been meeting yesterday, today. Last week we all met too. So that's kind of where we're at with hiring. Not any other position right at the high school.
No, math is about the only thing
Yeah.
that I'm worried about trying to
We
cover.
really need Stacy Guy.
Yeah, that would make us really good.
Who is it? I know we've already talked about this, but we filled the English.
With Emma Myers.
There you go. Okay.
She has her master's in history and her bachelor degree was a minor in English.
Coach Turner, actually, what did he teach?
World history and geography. So
Coach House teaches.
he teaches, 8th grade US history
Yeah,
and 7th grade
Texas history, yeah, 7th grade.
And he did pretty well.
There's room in both of their schedules because they picked up like a admin and a dual credit.
We have a lot of, I mean, I hate to say a lot of room, but, we had a lot of teachers who had a lot of dual credit classes, and we're reframing how we do all of that moving forward with different expectations for the teacher and the kids, and so that's kind of what we're working on, just maximizing our staff, so that we're supporting kids the best through what they're working on, but they just kind of, some of them had open periods, so we don't.
Can you share, I mean, you might not be ready to talk about that, can you share what that looks like when you say you're reframing? Because I know it's been a big kind of topic for leadership in regards to like dual credit courses and
Well,
open.
I will tell you a challenge, and we just talked about this today at leadership, Jacob, all of us were there. We use Cisco, so the way Cisco does it is it's online. So I will tell you, some of the classes are challenging and some they can get done in a day. I mean, they can, but you have to have so many seat hours. So we can't say we're gonna enroll you in 4 college classes, but not give you any, they have to have a class for that, unfortunately. So what it does is it creates an issue with our kids. Then they have all this free time because they can do all their college work on Monday. We can't prevent that. They're in college. And so, talking about what that could look like. So we were talking about adding in things to have them work on ACT, SAT prep. We'd looked at like TSI prep, but you have to have a teacher who's actually going to be doing a check-in weekly with the student. Let me see your computer. Let me pull up your Canvas and look at all of your assignments. Are you passing? Where are you at? Making those parent contacts, and then trying to figure out what we can do, because we can't not give them the time, but we also realize they all have a lot of time, right? So that's what we're trying to balance. But if we're a district that wants our kids to get an associate degree, we don't have teachers that can teach college level classes besides Jory. And so that's kind of where we're at. It's either all going to be online, and we talked about this today. Shay's had experience with different colleges, so have I, and they were more challenging. So we talked about this today. Do we start looking for a different college partner? Do we try to do a 2x2 with Tarleton? Do we try to do a 2x2 with St. Angelo? These are things that we need to look into, but like Tarleton doesn't have an associate's degree, but it's a 2x2 where you just all your hours roll straight in. So these are things that we want to start exploring. Do we want to use the college in Snyder? You know, that's what we have to kind of figure out, but we have to do that while also getting our kids that are currently in the pathway to get done. And so these are some of the constraints we have. The Moody grant will help us pay for teachers to get master's degrees. So we want our teachers to teach. We want for Addie to, which we've already talked to her about, to go back and get her math so she could do all of our math classes. Because when you have a teacher teaching it, I think it's, you know, more bell to bell, more rigorous. We have more control. And so that's kind of our game plan when it comes to dual credit, but it also starts with whatever teacher is their mentor, that they see themselves as a teacher and is checking with them and working with them. But then on the flip side, what do we do when you've done all your work in 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Not every class is that way. Some classes are way more challenging, some are not. We are meeting with Cisco College, Michelle, Shay and I next Monday. We will create a crosswalk. Basically, this is what you're allowed to take freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. Kids are no longer right now, we've unenrolled every kid from summer classes except for 2. We're not allowing mini-mesters, we're not allowing any of this other stuff, because then for some of the kids, they had tons of extra classes they weren't doing well. For some of the kids, I'm gonna give the example of the Whites. They're kids that do well, that worked out for them. They took additional college classes and they did other things, but for some of our kids, they're not. So letting them, we have kids that were signed up for college classes that made a 4 in a college class. Why would we let them take a summer class? So we went through kid by kid. We made the decision if they were going to get to continue. Some kids come in late and they need that to catch up with the associate's degree. So I think we ended up having, 2, Michelle, that we let take summer courses?
Yes, and then we'll have 3 that are trying to finish up level 1 well.
Right, so we have 3 kids coming back that graduated that will do level 1. Dakota's going to teach that for their level 1 cert. And then we're also looking at we're redoing the handbook for dual credit. If you have been failing classes, there actually is if you fail 1 class, you're supposed to go on probation. If you fail again, then you're not supposed to get to continue. That hasn't happened. So we will be meeting with kids and kids and parents, because some of the kids that currently are going to be seniors, they're not going to get an associate's degree. They're on track, they think, and there's no way when they made like 40s and 5s. And so we're going to have to start talking with parents and doing that, but we're going to have to look at all of our kids moving forward and not try to get as many kids in with an associate's, but who really can make it through the associates, what support can we give instead of, because this is money that the district's also paying for courses that they're not passing. And if they're continually not passing, what are we going to do for them? But we can't continue to let them take college courses because the associate's degree isn't working out, because it's going to go on their college transcripts. Yeah. It's costing us money. It's going on their high school. They're not getting the credits they need. So in the past month, I think this is some of the stuff we've been working on.
I think the number of students that are, even when they're passing at the college standard, which a D is passing, but it's not meeting the high school standard of a 70 or better. So then there's a large number of those, which I found kind of interesting, alarming, I guess might be a better word. And then classes like U.S. history, those dual credit classes, you can get a lot of, the grade they're getting in the class, the dual credit class doesn't really correspond with the grade they're getting on their STAR test. So are we really preparing them to be successful? Are they learning enough to pass the dual credit class and then they're going to move on? Because I'm kind of that way on online class. I can pass it to, learn it to pass the test, and then in a week I may not be able to pass that same test. So just being able to pair up teachers and, if they're in a dual credit class, U.S. history or whatever it is, go to Nico, English, a lot of them match up that way that, the next day they're with one of our teachers actually going over the, TEKS.
So like U.S. history, Coach Botus wants all the kids who are doing that, so he can be teaching them. I can tell you like the Cisco class, my daughter just took it, doesn't necessarily align to U.S. history. He does a boot camp, but moving forward, he's gonna have the kids also. But bottom line is, our kids still aren't passing EOC. So when we have 50%, 60%, our kids not, passing EOC, but we're saying they get an associate's degree. And we have kids who have an associate's degree that haven't passed their TSI or haven't passed some of their EOCs.
Yeah, that's a challenge.
It's something we need to look at. And that's the partner we use. So we're meeting, like I said, with Nathan, the partner from Cisco on Monday. But these are some of our challenges. And we're having to do stuff where we get kids that are currently in getting through and then making the changes. And so that stuff we've been working on for weeks. Just takes, it takes some time. That's the biggest focus. And then I know Shay's been working on, his next biggest focus he's been working on with Mr. Cole is discipline. He's redoing all the handbooks. So that's kind of where we're at with all of that.
Does a D in a dual credit math equal a C?
Yes.
We can do that.
It does here, but I've never seen it count that way anywhere else, so it's something that will not count here.
It's usually
Moving
addition,
forward-
oh, I'm sorry.
Right, moving forward, they will receive college credit, but they will not receive a passing credit. Normally it's a 70 or above.
I thought we required them to have passed their TSI before they enrolled in a dual credit. Did we?
It's not been our practice in the last several years.
Well,
Before me,
it's,
it's not been the practice.
I mean,
We encourage it, and we want that because that means that they're college ready according to TSI, but
Did
There.
Cisco not require that?
no. They allow students to take certain classes, that if they take those classes, then it kind of bypasses the TSI.
A class called a college bridge in math, a college bridge in English. It's not just here, it's not just Cisco, it's all over the state of Texas because a lot of kids struggle with TSI. And so you could take that in place of passing your TSI. Also, a lot of places, including here, they'll take the math through McMurray because it's a private institution, TSI is not required, then you could go back to Cisco. If you make a high enough score on your EOC, that also takes the place of TSI. So it's a workaround for every school district, which they're doing away with.
yeah, it's a challenge across the state, with College Bridge going away, but it's kind of defeated the purpose, because I think dual credit, the first intention was to get the first generation students into college, because the more college hours you have, the less likely you are to drop out or quit. But now it's just going to work around. Every college has a way where TSI doesn't really matter, but TSI is it's the indicator that you can be successful in college and that you qualify to go to college. So, and I don't know if we've given it enough or at the right times. I mean, a lot of times the best time is right after they take Algebra 1, either after their 8th grade year or their 9th grade year, where they can be successful. And then we're looking at adding algebraic reasoning as a 3rd or 4th math for students who struggle a little bit, but it also will help prepare them to take the TSI. Maybe we'll have, I think one of our main goals should be to increase our TSI compliant students.
And that's one of the biggest components of the Moody grant that Michelle and I wrote. I mean, that's the sole purpose is for our kids to be TSI ready and to show that, reflect that in their ACT, SAT. And so that's why we put money in there for tutors and different things that will really help. And I think it starts with having more teachers that can actually teach the dual credit classes, or maybe we need to look at a different partner. But that's.
well, I know several years ago, our kids, they did a TSI boot camp.
Mhm.
And then I think they only had like 3 chances to pass that test or something happened.
That was back when the early college high schools first started, and then they've gone away from that.
Okay.
And
I
they,
would say how long ago that was. 'Cause it's-
and then TSI has changed some over the past probably 5 or 6 years, and it's now a harder test, and there's another component to it. And
Yeah, they renamed TSI to TSI-A, so.
Yeah.
When they started doing that, less kids were being able to pass TSI, and so junior colleges all around the state had to go with different things in our schools, because kids were not being able to complete their associates.
as awesome as dual credit and all that stuff is, it kind of breaks my heart sometimes that we're doing all that and the kids aren't being successful in the things that probably really that matter a little bit more, as far as, the students that are truly college bound and that are going to go on and, masters, bachelor's and masters, or even doctorate degrees in their future. We're missing that piece of really preparing them. It's awesome to give them a bunch of associate degrees. It's just a little heartbreaking that we're missing, not just us, like the state and colleges are missing that whole.
So when you're doing your leadership meetings, when do you hold those?
We hold them, well, right now at different times, but this year it was Tuesday at 1.
I would like to maybe attend a couple of those, next year when y'all get that going back up again. I think it'd be good. Maybe 1 or 2 of us sit in on that. I'd really like.
Do we still get, you mentioned 2+2 programs versus associates. Do we still get funding based on, is the associates, it's one of the?
No, I mean, a 2+2 wouldn't give us this much funding, and that's one of the things we talked about today, because in order to get a CCMR outcome bonus is an associate's degree or. But if we could, get where they're passing TSI, we would still get the outcome bonus. And so that's kind of what we talked about today. Not saying we want to do away with the associate's degree, but just looking at different, looking at different partners to see what they offer. Last year, I really wanted to look at Tarleton, but I know Tarleton didn't have an associate's degree, but they have a 2x2. So just, we need to think outside the box.
What's 2x2?
Just like, it's kind of like where you roll straight in, where you, it's kind of like kind of an associate's, but they don't call it an associate's, where you roll in and technically you could finish in 2 years.
You have your 4 classes.
Yeah, like
We
did. Yes.
Yeah, and almost like an automatic acceptance if you.
Yes, and it is normally an automatic acceptance.
It's like 42 college hours. It's.
It's just short of an associate's degree.
Or complete.
Or complete, yes. So then technically you've done all your first and second year classes, well, core classes.
Gotcha.
But just kind of looking at different things for our kids, but they need to be passing TSI. They're passing TSI, then they're gonna do well in SAT, ACT, and that means they're also gonna do well at EOCs. They're just gonna be more prepared and do well. One of the things we talked about too today, at our meeting was looking longitudinally at all of our kids who have gotten an associate's degree, and we want to see if they've been successful in a 4-year university or not, and track all of our kids. So that's one of the things that's going to be a project, but that's one of the things we talked about today. So we want to see who's had success and how successful it's been for our kids. So then that way we can have that data.
Sure, oh yeah. Our drawback to associates has been maybe maturity. So my boys who made a B in dual credit, that's hurt them with getting into master's programs or doctorate programs because they
See it on their college transcript.
it's still there, GPA. And so they learned to work hard later, but they didn't do that.
You don't do that when you're a junior.
No, you don't.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we talked about, is to maturity and different things. It's like offering freshmen to take these classes I struggle with. And so we talked about like if we did have a freshman class, they could take what class would it be, things like that. And that's why they really need to have a checks and balance system, someone that's really checking in. That's why whoever's the dual credit teacher, it's so important that they're actually checking that they're completing assignments, what their grade is. We should not have anyone who has a 4 or a 20.
Yeah.
We should not.
I think it's about the environment too. I don't know if y'all been in the learning lab or anything where most of those classes are. It's a big classroom with a long table and.
We're moving them out of it.
Yeah, I just think getting the right teacher in there and setting it up to where, kids, where you can see their computers and, really have a system where you're checking have checkpoints every week or whatever it is per course and hold the kids accountable and make sure they're learning and then working with other teachers. So if it's a U.S. history or an English 1 or English class, that they're getting that extra support to make sure they're learning what they're supposed to from a state level. I think, there's just a few tweaks that I think will get better in a hurry. And then you mentioned like the test prep for SAT, ACT. I think that'll help a lot with TSI, where outcome bonus money is still there.
So we don't have I don't have a short answer for you. That's just something we've been working on. That was part of the reason why Michelle and I wrote that grant, to try and fill some of that gaps that we have with that stuff. But our focus is more, yes, we want them to get their associate's degree. We're not going away from that, but an associate's degree for 90% of our kids is not realistic. I think everyone can take a college course, but are we preparing them for the next level, whether it's a career, workforce, or college? I want them to go to a 4-year and be successful, right? Versus, us. So that's kind of where we're at. Thank you.
Next board meeting, we're gonna skip July. So next board meeting, we're looking at August 4th. Everybody good with that?
Do we have to, we're doing something at DREA with the, sorry.
I'll send out the stuff that we're going to dinner the Tuesday, but
We don't have to announce that everything since it's formal, there's some process will be there.
no. Well, should we do a workshop?
Thank you.
It
If
says
we're at the forum, I think it has to be.
Okay. So then we'll do a workshop. It will be at 4. That's when we're gonna meet with Gallagher, because they're gonna go over, they've already gotten the numbers. So Lisa wants to do a workshop on June 6th.
16.
16. And I don't know what time the dinner is, but I know we're meeting with Gallagher from 4 to 5:30.
And there's just
6. We went over this today, and they showed us the only reason why I know, but, and then the dinners with the spouses, if your spouse is coming. If your spouse is not coming, it's not a big deal.
Which day is that?
Tuesday. There is an app in case y'all want to download it on your phone.
And they did ask for meals over, heard you guys talking fast for RCPs.
I downloaded the app and it's
Yes,
just that.
it does, you just click.
I just said yes to all.
So if you have not done that, you need to do that, so.
Yeah. No,
Jennifer said
and
yes to all of
it's
them.
included in your registration, so it's technically already paid for,
Yeah.
but you're supposed to RSVP for them so that they can get a good head count.
Now, what app is this?
TREA.
Yeah.
You
Jennifer,
don't read your emails, I mean.
hey, Jennifer said yes to all of them. so-
I said yes to all of them too.
So we're not pushing you right now?
No, that's one of us, you have to respond to.
So y'all know technically, we did the app today too, so this was us at leadership, we did the app. Technically, there is stuff for the school board on Monday that you
There's
should
an
attend
email
session.
from Bonnie Wall.
Nothing starts Sunday, so
I'm sure it got mixed up.
we downloaded the app.
Unless it's somebody I know.
That even though I did the same thing, it took me a while to realize.
So Michelle is you.
Yeah. It took me a while to realize it was Bonnie Wall.
I get so much going on.
Our future person is.
7, 8.
Are y'all?
Yeah, we're gonna eat. I said yes to all of them. I even signed you up for the diving stuff.
It went to Sam and some of.
It came.
No, I just accidentally
It
deleted
came
mine.
from oh, I accidentally deleted mine too. It came from Bonnie.
Yeah.
Hospital was this?
May 20, when did y'all, May 20?
May 29th.
We did all this today, but Jacob's went to spam, so, right?
No, I didn't. It didn't say TREA from the center, it said Bonnie.
It just said Bonnie.
It said I'll see my junk, my inbox every day, you know. Yeah.
You might want to just go in and already pick the session.
Anything else? You good?
Yes.
You got your hotel thing from Lisa?
We
So wait, did we decide on?
sign this thing or we don't?
Yes.
They're gonna ask
Yes.
for.
So, here.
What was the answer? Oh, it's good. Address.
Yeah,
We don't turn it
I
on.
mean, we don't know if they're
With
gonna.
the check.
And we've already sent in a check to pay for all the rooms. So,
So the
So-
only thing might be your incidentals or, parking and stuff, they could probably add to your room and then send it. We should have credit.
Unless you valet parking's free. You just not park.
Well, what about kids? Are they paid for with the water park or
you
whatever
get,
that
Michelle, how many was it last year? You get bands with your room.
I know I got two.
Your RNet gets you in the water park. If they want to go to the arcade, you gotta buy a card. It's like a.
But
But how many comes with the room?
how many bands per
is?
room?
The band's already paid for.
I think you get 4 bands.
I think it is.
Whatever it says.
Because on your hotel reservation, because I've got technically 5, they counted Mason as a 5th occupant, and it lists that I've got that.
It's like a chicken, so I'll just have 4 ratings.
And I was told to check in as well,
Rooms can be for afternoon.
Yeah.
but everybody got double beds, I think, so.
Okay. All good? It is 6:29. At this time, the board will adjourn in closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Texas Open Meeting Act 551.74.
And my door is open for releases. So
Okay. Yes, what am I? It is 7:44, the board of trustees in closed session. And 7:44. Then we will. Actually, relevant items covered with closed session, so I'll hear the motion.
I actually see that superintendent's three-year contract for the 2026-2027 school year, which increased to $10,000.
I'll second.
Motion made by Carrie, seconded by Jennifer. All in favor of that motion, signify by right hand. 6-0. With no other business, at 7:45, during this meeting. Thank you all.